Meeting come to order. I'd like to welcome everyone to the July the 20th, 2026 meeting of the Caswell County Board of Commissioners. If you would, join me in a moment of silent prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen. Allegiance to the flag. United States of America. To the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with peace and justice for all. All right, public comments.
We do have one signed up. Neil, and I'm not sure what your last name. Oh, okay.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm here to talk about the court enforcement as far as like junk cars and used cars on our road. I stay over on Ross Acres Road #1. I own a 32-acre farm at the very end of the road. And I've been speaking to Mr. Jason here for probably a couple of years now about the problems and situations. And when we moved out there, almost 5 years ago, the road wasn't too bad. There was like one house out there that was a hoarder, but all the other places didn't look too bad. But in the last 4 years, they keep bringing in more junk cars and stockpiling stuff up. And, we've got like 2 mechanic shops in front of their houses. It's all the time, seeing bad stuff. And it's very embarrassing, for my friends to come over to the house to see this, my family come down from New York to see this. I spent a lot of time and money, try to make the place look nice. I fixed the road up, put all new gravel down, pick up all the trash off the side of the road all the time. And it's just, I feel like I'm shooting myself in the foot, And I've been talking to Jason about it's just the garbage and the trash in everybody's yards. They bring in, guy at the end of the road has a tow truck company. He brings in, junk vehicles, rips engines and transmissions out, takes stuff out, and sometimes he leaves it there for months. And just, a sore eye for everybody to look at.
Anything else?
That'd probably be all, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's the only one.
Yes.
Madam Manager. All right. Recognitions. I'll start with you, Mr. Claggett.
I have none.
Mr. Ingram,
None, sir.
Mr. Rose,
Nothing, Mr. Chairman.
Smith.
Yes, sir. I do have one thing, Mr. Chairman. Just want to acknowledge that less than 30 days ago, Piedmont Community College broke ground on a $50 million campus, agricultural campus in Pelham. So we're really excited about that, and better things are on the way.
Mr. Totten,
Yeah.
any recognitions?
I just want to share that I went to renew my license, and this was good news. I ran into 2 people that, and they mentioned that they didn't know me. They were just talking amongst themselves. And they said, "Oh, this is great that we have a DMV and it's convenient for us." I don't know who the credit goes to. I think my fellow county manager, board. I just wanted to share that good news that they said this is great, and then the worker there, that they would get more hours when they hire another person. I think that's state, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Thank you. During budget time, and I guess at our last board meeting, we have appointed a new fire marshal, Kenneth Everett. But I'd like to recognize the retiring fire marshal, Vernon Massengill. I don't know how many years Vernon's had that job, but it's a lot.
43.
For very little pay.
Yeah.
Very little. I would just like to recognize him at this time and thank him for his years of service. All right. Consent agenda, which consists of tonight's meeting agenda, the open session minutes from the 15th of June and the 1st of July, the tax refunds and release provided by staff. And one change to tonight's agenda, The planning director has asked that we switch items 9 and 10. We'll still cover them both, but we'll take item 10 before we do item 9, so to speak. Any corrections or additions to those minutes? I have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
A motion from Commissioner Smith,
Second.
second from Commissioner Rose. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. All right, you should have in your packet, gentlemen, your financial report. Any questions? Comments concerning that? Finance director's here if you got a question.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I just do have one comment. I noticed that we've collected $15.2 million of property taxes at a rate of 99.9%. So that's an excellent job.
right. The comprehensive land use plan, Mr. Watlington.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Board, Madam Manager, Attorney Johnson. So I wanted to give you an update on our comprehensive plan. We've had 3 steering committee meetings that have been held as of July 8th when I prepared this. We had a December 2nd, 2025, a February 10th, 2026, and an April 14th, 2026. We've had 3 community meetings completed. We held a June 4th at Pelham Fire Department. We had 8 citizens plus 8 staff. June 9th, we were at Southern Castle, Ruatan. We had 26 citizens plus 6 staff. And then June 23rd, we were at Leesburg Fire Department with 25 citizens plus 6 staff. 147 surveys have now been completed to date. We're in the process of writing a survey to be distributed to our youth at the start of the school year. I will also be set up at National Night Out at Parks and Rec to try to grab some of our youth. We're looking at 11th, 12th graders or college students. So we do want a certain maturity level for this, but our youth is pretty much what we're developing this plan for. The steering committee will reconvene in early September to discuss the findings that come from our surveys and community meetings. But I wanted to give you a few of the concerns from our citizens throughout our meetings. And those are expanding infrastructure, water and sewer to other parts of the county. Lack of theme or identity for our county. Lack of zoning for protection. Blighted neighborhoods caused by junk vehicles, solid waste, and dilapidated mobile homes. Needed expansion of parks and rec, offering more for the children throughout the year. Multiple small parcels with homes beginning to become more common, taking over our agricultural lands. And then lack of small businesses or even larger commercial to ease a residential tax base. So those are some of the concerns. Again, like I said, we'll have our youth hopefully to solicit some information from them over the next couple of months and then meet back with the steering committee in September. We will hopefully have something for the board in the springtime for review.
Any questions for Mr. Wallington?
Mr.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Mr. Otten, go ahead.
Mr. Wallace, I just want to think I hear you. Did I hear you right? Zach, you said lack of zoning or protection?
There's actually been mentioned the lack of zoning
Okay,
for protection, protection of property.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, comments? All right, Jason, thank you for that, but you up on the next 2. Let's look at the code enforcement for junk cars.
All righty. So on the cover page of my requested agenda item, I did request discussion only with a consensus and recommendation for public hearing However, due to the language in our UDO, specifically 1.12.7, in addition to other enforcement provisions contained in this article, the county may exercise any and all enforcement powers granted to it by state law or common law. So therefore, we are covered without having to have a public hearing on what I am fixing to discuss with you, whether it's the board's pleasure tonight or in future meetings to decide and vote on this. So we've discussed code enforcement in the past. However, tonight I would like to bring you up to date and explain to Commissioner Totten, Ingram, and Commissioner Claggett, as they were not seated on the board at the time of our original proposal. Junk car enforcement is complaint driven in Caswell County. So I do not ride around looking for junk cars and start the code enforcement process. Otherwise, it would be a full-time job for me. I visit the site, I speak to the owner of the property if he or she is at home, and then a letter is sent certified and regular mail. Ordinance states certified, however, I do send a regular because I'm finding what happens. I send both. A certified mail is sent to anyone. If they do not sign for it or are not home to sign for it, it goes back to the post office. They never pick it up. So I send that certified mail, also a regular mail. I take a picture of it, postmarked, and have it documented. Letter states the violation, the recommended compliance, fines, and the appeal process. As mentioned in our past, our fine schedule is $50 first day, $100 the second day, $200 the third day, and then $300 for the fourth and succeeding violation. Our ordinance states that for each day the violation continues, the violator will be guilty of an additional and separate violation. So at day 30, I make a second site visit. Progress will equal 30 more days. If they can show me progress, even write me a letter stating what they're going to do to fix this, I'll consider that progress. No progress will initiate the fine process. At day 60, I repeat the same thing. Still no progress, fines will continue. If progress has started, then I will pause the fines at that point because we're at day 60. They've already accumulated 30 days of fines at that point. At day 90, a site visit is done. In the past, traction has been lost at this point. Nothing accomplished, fines not paid. There are the few that will comply, however. It takes hours and hours through these site visits just to get those that have complied to comply. The point of my proposal to you tonight is, at this point, if no progress is made, then the fines should be turned over to the tax department as a lien on the property and the violation deemed a nuisance. General Statute 153A 123 gives the county authority to collect unpaid fines through a lien on the property. And I have consulted with our county attorney on that matter. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the 90-day mark, which is the nuisance. So we do have a nuisance ordinance. This ordinance outlines the towing of vehicles. Once I have established that it is a junk salvaged nuisance vehicle, then I will give a 7-day notice to the owner. The owner has the right to appeal to the clerk of the board within that 7 days. Now that's important. It is in that owner's hands to appeal that process. That would cause a stay, and we're paused until the board, you, can make a determination on that. The Board of Commissioners will determine the fate of the action at that point. If no appeal, then the towing process will proceed. I have talked with our sheriff, and our ordinance does state that the sheriff or his designee, which I am the county designee for control and code enforcement of junk cars. But I have asked the sheriff to go with me in certain occasions. We go to some areas of the county that I prefer to have backup. He has stated several times that if we are told to leave the property, then we would have to leave and get a court order. Through consultation with our county attorney, he again brought up, that client does have that appeal process. So therefore, per our ordinance, even if I do not have law enforcement with me, I can go out and have the vehicles towed. Again, I just want that as some backup. I do, no disrespect to the sheriff, I completely understand where he's coming from on that. But that is our nuisance process in a nutshell. Again, it allows 7 days notice and we can tow the vehicles. I do have a tow service that has agreed to tow all of the vehicles at the tow service's expense. So this would not be any money from the county to do that initial tow. If it's the board's pleasure, we can offer it to a second, so we have two. But I do have one. And then it is simply up to the tow service on what happens to that vehicle. They have general statutes they have to follow called post towing, which is a 10-day process that they have to allow that vehicle to sit. They do have to contact the owner per VIN number perhaps. But they do have 10 days, and then at that point, they put a lien on the vehicle. But I would like you to consider not only this, but in the future, it's possibly making these salvage yards part of the HIDO, high impact development ordinance, to have them. Right now, they are allowed in neighborhoods, in communities. One of the fixes is that if you have more than 2 junk vehicles on your property, you can become a salvage yard. Fence in your backyard and add as many vehicles as you want, as long as you pay that $50 outdoor storage fee and become that salvage yard. But I want you to consider that as future, perhaps maybe something that comes out of our comprehensive plan. But without delay on the code enforcement portion of it. I am open for questions.
Questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Jason, you said that unpaid fees, you could file a lien, a tax lien in the tax department. Is that a lien on real property or personal property?
The unpaid taxes, the unpaid fines will go as a separate line item on their tax bill. That part I do not know. That would be for the tax collector.
Okay, so if you didn't pay the property taxes, then eventually it could lead to the foreclosure.
Exactly.
It being sold. So I'm wondering if this will be the same case.
Right. From what I am seeing in other counties, again, Alamance County and Warren County, and our tax collector was supposed to be talking to Warren County on how they do it. And I'll add that Milton does that. Code enforcement for the town of Milton actually sends their unpaid fines to Caswell County Tax Department.
Well, I think for it to be effective, it has to have some teeth. I mean, it needs to get their attention.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I'm gonna direct this to the county attorney, Jason.
Okay.
Mr. Attorney, like Commissioner Smith just said, if those fines are levied against the property tax, would it go against the personal property or the vehicle? My question would be this, if it's a separate line item for those fines and somebody came in and said, well, I'm gonna pay my property taxes, but I'm not paying the fine part, would that still give you enough to do foreclosure process on the property, even if the taxes have been paid, but not the fine part?
Commissioner Rose, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, to answer your question, Commissioner Rose, if the lien was assessed strictly against the real property and not the personal property, then that would allow the county to pursue foreclosure through the delinquent tax collection, but only if it was assessed against the real property.
Okay, so would we be better off to assess it against the real property, or will we have to assess it against the personal property?
I haven't had that conversation with our tax director yet, but the answer to your question, Commissioner Rose, we would be better off, the county would be better off having that lien assessed against the real estate, but I'll have to research the general statutes and have a conversation with the tax collector to answer that question.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Now, Commissioner Rose, I will follow up with, there is language in our code of ordinances that allows if the vehicle is towed, it does allow the vehicle after the appeal procedure to be sold, and those proceeds would be used to pay toward the lien. That would be another avenue to collect.
Okay, so I guess that would be worked out between the tow company and county as far as those fines being paid from the sale, or is a tow company going to be getting the money from the sale?
That would have to be worked out between the tow service and the county, because the tow service would, at that point, after the 10 days, that would be
Okay.
his
Next question,
fee.
is the tow company going to charge the county for each one of these vehicles towed, or are they going to satisfy their debt based off of the sale?
Correct. The county will not be charged for towing.
Well, I appreciate everything you've done. I know we've got some issues in several locations throughout the county that need to be addressed. And thank you.
Any other questions? This was just a discussion item tonight, so we won't be taking any action. Let's go back to the dilapidated mobile home ordinance, Mr. Wallington.
All righty. So before you is a new ordinance that concentrates on the removal of dilapidated mobile homes throughout the county. So during our comprehensive plan, community meetings, code enforcement, along with blighted areas of the county were brought up as issues or problems with our county. I would like to make a note. A citizen did, and this can go a little bit back towards code enforcement, but a citizen contacted me a few weeks ago, and she sent me something from FHA. She tried to sell her father's home, and FHA come out. The gentleman that was purchasing the home was going through an FHA loan. He come out, investigated the area, and as of that day had refused an FHA loan for this home due to blighted neighborhood. And for those of our citizens that may not know what blighted means, basically junk vehicles, solid waste, tall grass, dilapidated homes, things of that nature. So I thought that was, it was sad. Honestly, it was sad. So, however, going back to our mobile homes, these structures create an eyesore, also a hazard to our citizens, possibly a risk to our groundwater systems as they sit and decay. It's easy to burn a stick home to the ground. Mobile homes can't follow the same process. That's when the EPA gets involved. So I base this ordinance off of Alamance County and Warren County. They both have dilapidated mobile home ordinances. I will not go through the ordinance word for word, but will summarize for you. Criteria includes a mobile home that has not been used as a dwelling for at least 180 days. We have to be careful. We do not have a minimum housing ordinance. We will not condemn a home and take someone out of their home. Will not. I want to make sure our public hears that. So not been used for 180 days and deemed a nuisance. Scrapped, wrecked, disassembled, unusable, burnt, inoperable, or at an unrepairable state, just like junk cars, pretty much. Notification would follow the same standard as junk vehicles, identify the property, direct the removal, or help with a remedy. Give them 120 days to remove the mobile home. These are not as simple as pulling a junk car off your property. Notify of the right to appeal or hardship. Now, this would be an appeal to the clerk to the board as our normal appeal process. However, this would go to the Board of Adjustments. Again, this is the difference in this particular ordinance versus the junk vehicles. If this board wishes, it will come to you. Other counties have language that advises that after so many days, the county will remove the mobile home and the owner would have to pay the county back. I'm not trying to get the county in the business of removing mobile homes. We would instead find the owner, and as mentioned with junk cars, again, a lien on the property for the unpaid fines. Exceptions would occur if a landlord can produce evidence of tenant eviction or that the mobile home is being used for seasonal workers or storage. Enforcement of this ordinance could be complaint driven, as junk vehicles are. Again, I urge you to consider this ordinance in our near future. We've got to take pride in our county and protect and preserve our natural resources and the scenic views that we have left. I am open for questions on this particular ordinance.
Jason, couple questions. And I'm not sure of the year of the mobile home, but at a certain point, certain year, you're not able to move that mobile home down the highway.
Right.
So I guess my question is going to be is if the mobile home is outside of that year and you can't legally move it,
right,
then what is going to be the county's step? Is it going to be somebody coming in and physically tearing it down? Because, I mean, I've seen that a whole lot. Even some nicer mobile homes,
right,
that are kept up really nice, but they fall within that age frame. They can't even sell them to anybody because they can't get them moved.
right.
So I guess we just need to make sure we have covered all those bases of if it's one outside of that year model, how are we going to handle it?
Right. Portions can be burned with solid waste approval. I think a lot of the certain metals have to be removed. Insulation has to be removed. And, you know, there are times when there are some that have hardships. And I think our solid waste director with approval from this board would be open to allowing a dumpster to be placed on the property with no rental charge. However, there would be a charge to take that material off and dump it.
Right.
So ways that we could help the citizen without us paying for it. There's also through solid waste an actual grant that is out there for the removal of mobile homes. However, the grant would have to come to the county. The county would have to pay it. And then again, that is, you know, for all the ones that we have, it would be tough to make grants for all of those.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Jason, I've seen situations where, say in the case of a mobile home park, you've got a home sitting there that's just run down, it's rat infested and so forth. And the tenant or the whoever's renting the lot owns the mobile home, but it walks away from it. Now, who's going to be responsible for taking that down in that case? Is it going to fall back on the landlord? It's not his home, but at the same time, it's got to be moved.
Right. We
That's
can
something
do,
you're going to need to address.
and we can do just like we do junk cars. That mobile home's gonna have a title. And we can trace it the best we can. And at that point, and perhaps we can get a mover on board that would remove things of this. Or, you know, someone who does demolition. Again, these are great questions.
Well, I think it's a good idea to, for solid waste to provide the dumpsters, because that makes it a lot easier. It's a lot easier to demo a mobile home than it would be a house. And after you do the demo of it down to the steel, then a whole lot of times people will come in and take that steel, they go in and cut it up and haul it off just for the recycling cost. So, but you are going to run into that.
Yes, sir.
I've got one more question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're talking about mobile homes now. Do we have a similar policy for homes, dilapidated homes?
We do not. And, you know, originally the planning board did discuss adding stick-built homes to this. However, most counties have a minimum housing ordinance, and therefore it is the condemning process along with the demolition is built into those minimum housing ordinance. So therefore, that is something that can be done.
Well, like I said, this eyesores all throughout the county. If we've got a vehicle somewhere to go in and actually force the home to be taken down,
Right.
then we need to look into that, I think.
And that is the biggest thing. We can do a lot of this if we have the teeth, you know, to do it. I really think, you know, code enforcement's hard, and it's a full-time position, but I feel like I can do it and I can keep up as long as I have the teeth to do it. And
Mr. Chairman, I've got one last question. Mr. Attorney, have you looked over both of these?
Yes, sir. I'm more familiar with the junk car ordinance and that process. I would like to give a little more research to the dilapidated mobile home ordinance and research the general statutes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
What do you need from us tonight, Jason? Or this goes?
I wanted you aware of the dilapidated mobile home. We'll continue to work on that and bring you that at a later date.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
are we going to need to bring this back up to vote on it too?
Well, I think it's still a work in progress.
This one's a work in progress. The code enforcement is something I would like for this board to consider as soon as possible.
Get all the i's dotted and t's crossed and come back to see us.
I'll come back next week.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item 11, the APS contract 1-year extension. Mr. Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. So in your agenda packet, you will see the contract between Caswell County and the Animal Protection Society of Caswell County in regards to animal shelter services. And the most recent contract was executed back on August 20th of 2025. And the current contract we have in place expired on June 30th. So the contract that we have in place does give the county and the APS the ability to renew the contract. So what you have before you is an addendum to renew the contract for 1 more year. And I'll just cover a few basics in the contract. Item 2.11 allows for commercial general liability insurance. to be in place by the APS in the amount of $1 million and in the aggregate $2 million. And this is required of the APS to provide us that policy, along with a workers' compensation insurance policy to cover their workers. And one more significant issue, if some of you may recall, a few years ago, there was an issue with the dangerous dogs shelter fees and who bore the responsibility of those fees. So I'll bring your attention to paragraph 2.1. The very last sentence states the APS shall bear the cost of providing these services as part of this agreement. Cost of housing a potentially dangerous dog or dangerous dog is the sole responsibility of the APS and shall not be imposed on the county. So what we're looking for tonight, the contract has already been budgeted for, but we just need to renew the.
Any questions for the attorney?
Mr. Attorney, you said this has been budgeted?
That is my understanding, Commissioner Claggett. Yes, sir.
It has.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract
Second.
written.
I have a motion from Commissioner Rose to approve, seconded by Commissioner Claggett. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. All those opposed, motion carries. All right, item 12, Cove Square lease, 21 bail bonds. Madam Manager.
This item is a request from 21 Bells Bond to establish a business presence in Caswell County by leasing a desk at Cove Square. The owner is Sean Sylvester. He is based in Wilkes County and has recently expanded his services into Alamance County. He would like to establish a presence in Caswell County and use Cove Square as an administrative workspace when he is conducting business in the area. He is a member of the Chamber of Commerce here in the county, and the applicant has indicated that Cove Square would not be used as a day-to-day bail bond office. There would not be routine customer traffic or bail transactions conducted from the facility daily. Instead, the space would be used periodically for administrative office purposes, meeting with individuals by appointment, completing paperwork, and other business-related activities while working in Caswell County. This request aligns with Cove Square's purpose of supporting business development and encouraging businesses to establish a presence in Caswell County while making productive use of the available county space that we have there. If approved, the lease would also generate an additional revenue for the county, $150 a month, which is $1,800 a year. We are requesting, if the board desires, to consider this proposed agreement. And I know that Attorney Johnston has reviewed the agreement.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So I reviewed the Cove Square membership agreement along with the Cove Square desk lease agreement. So in reference to this particular business, it doesn't appear that there's any language in our policies that would explicitly prohibit this form of business as it's presented. However, the board and also at the direction of the county manager, you do reserve the right, if you choose not to lease to this business, that is in your prerogative as well, as long as there's no discrimination based on any federally protected classes. So it's totally in the board's discretion or the county manager.
Questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Melissa, I noticed that this is a desk lease. Is there a limited number of opportunities to use the conference rooms if you have only a desk lease?
Yes, even if you have a membership agreement, you have access so many times that you can use the conference room each month and also the common area as well.
But is there a limited number of times he can do that?
I would have to check with Crystal at Coast Square to check on that. I know there is a certain number of times that you can use it, but I am not certain. But if it's available, I think they try to accommodate anyone
Yeah.
if the conference rooms are available. But they do book those through, they have a booking device there that they can use that's, they could do themselves or they can do the request through the office.
Mr. Chair,
Like,
there's something here to me that just doesn't seem to meet the eye. I seem to recall a recent use policy for this building that was passed by this board a few managers ago, in which I was told was compliant with our facilities use policy. My personal memberships, both previous and current with Coast Square, never came before the Board of Commissioners. So this question is for either you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Attorney, or Madam Manager, possibly all three. Why now? If the Coast Square lease is with 21 bail bonds and the applicant has indicated that the space will be used primarily as a business presence and administrative office workspace to establish a presence in Caswell County, and also states he does not intend to operate day-to-day bail bond services from Coast Square to generate regular walk-in customer traffic. Is the applicant here this evening?
No, sir.
I would like to know how this walk-in traffic, foot traffic doesn't happen with this type of business. Now, Coast Square has hosted many things. It's been around for about 6 years. It's community soup luncheons, Life Choices of Roxborough's recent tenant there. Boathouse Brunch, employee retirement gatherings, joint municipal meetings. And I believe Coast Square is supposed to be a secure space with cipher locks and surveillance. You have county employees, home health, Chamber of Commerce. And the suite that this individual is asking for is directly in between the Chamber of Commerce and home health in the back. Section 5.2, paragraph I of our facilities use policy states, the following shall be prohibited within or on the premises of county facilities: selling, offering for sale, soliciting or promoting the sale of any goods or services on county premises, except in association with an approved events held by the county or by special written permission of the county manager or designee. As you know, Coast Square is a taxpayer-funded county building and has been here, like I said, for about 6 years. And I personally have insurance concerns associated with a business of this nature. Security concerns. I'm not going to skip over the females that work there by themselves. I believe this is a potential liability for the county. That's all I have.
Mr. Chair, I have a question, I
Yes,
guess,
sir.
for Madam Manager. With the space that's at Coast Square, if I'm not mistaken, I guess it was more than maybe a year or so ago, that I guess our board decided that we would use that space to try to generate, some money for the county. And as far as each space that's in there, I guess it's all up for a person to come and technically, if they want to rent the space, we rent the space. I mean, would that be the way I think it may have been a little over a year ago. I'm not exactly sure on it, but I do remember that. And the space is just, with everything that we have a lot of people that will come in and out, different civic organizations, different people that wish to request to use that space.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Mr. Attorney.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
How, I don't know exactly how to phrase the question, because if someone is asked to lease like this individual has, and we deny it, how good is our legal footing gonna be?
Yes, sir. That's a fair question. So the state statutes allow the Board of Commissioners to control county property and make decisions regarding county property. So the Co-Square building is, of course, county-owned property. And Co-Square does have membership agreements in place, desk lease agreements in place, and as Commissioner Claggett had alluded to, the Co-Square facility event policy. So as far as denying the request, you could view this as your typical landlord-tenant, potential landlord-tenant scenario. And in the landlord-tenant scenario, the landlord does have the right to refuse tenancy as long as there are no federally protected classes being discriminated against, such as race, religion, sexual orientation, et cetera. So if the board chose to deny the request, I think that would be in the board's discretion, and I think the board would be allowed to do so.
But as far as you know, this business, this individual would not fall under any of those federally protected classes.
That's correct. That's correct. And I'll say this, I'll just repeat on the flip side, in reviewing the agreements and the policies, it doesn't appear that this particular business is explicitly prohibited from any of our policies. Now, what happens if the lease goes through and if there's types of activities that are in a violation of this policy, then of course the county has the right to terminate the lease. But as presented, it doesn't appear that this particular business is explicitly prohibited from our policies.
Okay.
I know that's a very gray area for you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize.
That's fine. Well, we'll see what the board does. Any more questions or comments? What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I move to approve the Co-Square desk lease agreement with 21 bail bonds for the lease of one desk in Suite 8 at a rate of $150 per month.
I have a motion from Commissioner Smith. Second from Commissioner Ingram. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Madam Manager, you did, and I'm reading in here, it says that the applicant does not intend to operate day-to-day. Will any of that be incorporated if it was to pass?
If the board chooses for us to put that language in there, we don't have that same standard language in anybody else that rents space from there.
Okay, so if we stay with the regular one, then if something happened, we could deal with it at that point in time, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Is this a 12-month lease?
It is month to month because it's a desk lease. They're not leasing the entire suite. It's a desk.
Okay, okay, all right. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of approving the CoSquare desk lease agreement with 21 bail bonds, let be known by raising your right hand. All those opposed? Motion carries 4-2. All right, the item 13, water tap and meter fees, Madam Manager.
The next item is the proposed Caswell County water tap and meter fee policy. At your June 1st meeting, the board approved the memorandum of agreement with Ally Williams, Carmen and King Incorporated to update the county's water system management documents. One component of that agreement was to perform a review of our water tap fees and develop a fee schedule that better reflects the county's actual costs. The current tap fee policy dates back to 2010 and no longer reflects today's construction costs, materials, labor, or installation expenses. With the continued growth of the Pelham Industrial Park and additional development interest throughout the county, staff believes it is important that new connection pay the actual cost of connecting to the system rather than existing customers subsidizing those costs. This item addresses only the tap and meter fee schedule. Staff will return at a later date with the remainder of the updated water system policies for the board's consideration. What's changing for standard residential services, 3/4 inch tap fee would be $3,000. The 3/4 inch meter fee would be $500. The 1 inch tap fee would be $3,500 and the 1 inch meter fee would be $750. For larger commercial and industrial connections, a 1.5 inch or larger, the county would charge the actual cost of the tap meter, materials, labor, engineering review, and installation rather than a fixed fee. This ensures larger projects pay the actual cost associated with their connection. Other policy clarifications. The proposed policy also clarifies several operational items that every individual service requires its own tap unless otherwise approved by the county. Developers installing their own water lines are responsible for installation costs while the county continues to own all water meters. All fees must be paid before permits are issued or materials are ordered. Larger taps require county review and approval. Any special construction costs such as boring under roads or pavement restoration are the responsibility of the property owner or developer. The board retains the authority to amend the fee schedule in the future as construction and material costs change. This recommendation allows the county to begin recovering the actual cost of new water connections while we continue updating the remainder of the county's water policies. We believe approving these fees now is important so that current and future development pays a fair share of the cost of connecting to the county's water system rather than replacing that burden on the existing customers. Attorney Johnston and Maintenance Director, Mr. Hayes, have reviewed these fees along with Josh from the company that we've hired to help us with these fees.
All right, you've heard the manager's report on that item. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Melissa, I guess the procedure here would be for a developer to hire a utility contractor or a plumbing contractor, someone licensed in the state of North Carolina, and they would go and get a permit or request just this tap. And then will our people look after that tap or?
Correct. Like we have our inspectors that go out there along with Mr. Hayes that will inspect, but they are required to pay like the actual cost of your larger companies.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions? What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt the Caswell County water tap and meter fee policy, including the water tap and meter fees as provided.
All right, have a motion from Commissioner Ingram.
Second.
I have a second from Commissioner Rose. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I do have one other question. I think Allie Williams, Carmen and King is the architect engineer for the town of Yanceyville. Is that correct?
I think you're correct on that. And I know also for Elon and several other surrounding counties, they are as well.
So the contract we have as of date with Allie Williams, Carmen and King is just for this service here. We're not going beyond that at this time.
Well, we are going to be coming back because it's like, I think the original agreement is in the packet, but it was like 20,000.
Mhm.
And they're going to update our whole 2010 policy. But I just felt that it was imperative that we get this portion approved by the board, just due to the seed project that's going on and other projects that may be going on, so that we are covering our costs, because with the 2010 policy, we are not covering cost for our taps and connecting fees.
So anything outside that original contract with Williams, we would need to come up with a new contract. Is that right? Or it could be with another engineer. Is that right? We're not locked in with Allie Williams, Carmen and King.
No, this is just for them updating our policy. They helped us with doing this. So, we signed the agreement that they would help update our policy. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's my
Updating our
question.
policy.
We're not more or less using them beyond this contract.
Correct.
Be
Yes,
our
sir.
representative for the Castle County.
Exactly. No, just for this project, just for that we've allocated those funds for updating this policy only.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, or questions? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of adopting new water and tap meter fees, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. All right, item 14, Community Foundation of the Dan River Region Grant.
Chairman and Commissioners, I'm bringing forward an opportunity for the county to apply for a grant through the Community Foundation of Dan River Region. This grant does not require a local match, so there would be no county funds required as part of the application. Mr. Kenneth Everett, the EM coordinator, is wanting to go after this opportunity. If awarded, the funding would be used to strengthen our emergency response capabilities by replacing aging equipment and enhancing our emergency operation resources, specifically the response equipment, add a supply trailer to better support during severe weather and disaster operations, replace generators that are no longer reliable or cost effective to repair, and improve the weather response trailer with an awning, cooling fans, and a mini split system to better protect equipment and improve working conditions for staff during emergency operations. This grant represents an opportunity to improve the county's emergency preparedness and response capabilities without requiring a local financial contribution. This item is being presented for informational purposes only. If the grant is awarded, staff will administer the funds in accordance with the grant requirements and county policies, and it would be brought back to this board for acceptance.
Any questions? This is just for informational purposes.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Thank you. Madam Manager, I had two questions after reading some documents. This grant, he's going after this grant.
Correct. We have not been awarded this grant. I'm just letting the board know that this is a funding opportunity that Emergency Management Coordinator, Mr. Everett, plans to pursue. I'm just making the board just informational that we are going to pursue that. And if we are awarded this grant opportunity, we'll bring it back before the board for acceptance.
So two more questions. One, do we have a grant writer? Who is our grant writer?
It's the
We have a
Castle
county-
County employees.
Oh, Castle County employee. And my second question, I should have asked this earlier. I don't think it's, do we have an inspector of buildings?
Yes. We have a building inspections department. We have 2 building inspectors.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Melissa, is this an open amount requested or a fixed amount?
I guess once he finishes, I know with the Community Foundation, they typically, they're very generous if you get like a $20,000 or $25,000 grant. I'm not sure of the full extent because I know he was doing some more researching on his cost and submitting the grant, but he just wanted to make me aware that what he did plan to apply for this.
All right. Item 15, Meals on Wheels America grant.
The next item is the acceptance of the Meal on Wheels American Meeting Unmet Need Accelerated Grant. I'm pleased to share that the Caswell Senior Services has been awarded a $100,000 grant from Meals on Wheels America through its Meeting Unmet Need Acceleration Grant Program. This grant will help expand access to nutrition services for older adults in Caswell County and support continued Meals on Wheels services for seniors who are at risk of losing access to the important programs. The grant requires no county match, has an 18-month grant period, and all funds must be expended by November the 30th, 2027. Because the grant acceptance deadline occurred before this meeting, the staff requested an extension from Meals on Wheels America until after the board action so that the county could follow its normal grant acceptance process. And they did approve for us to be able, the deadline was on the 17th, but they did allow us to be able to bring it before the board. I would like to recognize and commend our senior services staff for their efforts in pursuing this funding opportunity. These additional resources will allow us to expand services and better meet the needs of our senior population. And we recommend the acceptance of the grant.
All right. What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'll move to accept the Meals on Wheels America Meeting Unmet Need. Oops, just lost the spot. Start back over. Move to accept the Meals on Wheels America Meeting Unmet Need Acceleration Grant amount of $100,000. Authorize staff to execute the grant agreement and any associated documents necessary to administer the grant and approve the association budget amendment.
I have a motion from Commissioner Rose to approve.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Claggett. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, let me know by raising your right hand. All those opposed, motion carries unanimously. All right. Budget amendment number 4. Mr. Horton.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. Budget Amendment number 4 recognizes a $10,000 grant from the North Carolina Amateur Sport Youth Sports Program awarded to our Parks and Rec Department. The grant funds equipment and facility upgrades benefiting the county's youth golfing program within Caswell. This is a non-matching grant, so no county funds are used. We recognize the $10,000 in restricted grant revenue and appropriate the same amount in expense. So it's a net zero effect.
Any questions for Mr. Horton? This is the same grant that we moved to accept at our last meeting.
That's correct.
Okay. All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve budget amendment number 4, NC Amateur Sports Youth Sports Grant.
All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Smith,
Second.
second from Commissioner Ingram. Any discussion? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. All right, budget amendment number 5, the Meals on Wheels Unmet Need Acceleration Grant.
And this budget amendment pertains to the grant you all just approved. This budget amendment recognizes a $100,000 from the Meeting Unmet Needs Acceleration Grant awarded to Caswell County Senior Services by Meals on Wheels America. The grant will replace critical nutrition program equipment, stabilize kitchen operations, and support staff. So the program can maintain Meals on Wheels services for existing elderly adults and expand access for additional seniors in need. Like amendment number 4, there is no county match and fully funded and nets to zero.
What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve budget amendment number 5.
I have a motion from Commissioner Rose,
Second.
second from Commissioner Ingram. Any discussion? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Horton.
Thank you, Chairman.
All right, Ms. Williamson, the EMS shift differential policy.
Chairman and Commissioners, the next item is the proposed EMS shift differential for last-minute coverage policy. This policy was developed in response to a very real operational challenge within our EMS department. EMS provides emergency medical services 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. When an employee unexpectedly calls out within a few hours of their shift, we still have an obligation to keep ambulances staffed and available to respond to emergencies. Currently, those last-minute vacancies can be difficult to fill. Supervisors often spend hours trying to find coverage, and if a shift remains vacant, it places additional strain on our existing staff and can impact our ability to maintain adequate ambulance coverage. The proposed policy provides a $100 incentive for a 12-hour shift to employees who voluntarily accept a qualifying last-minute vacancy. This is not a pay raise, a permanent shift differential, or additional compensation for scheduled work. It is a one-time incentive that only applies when an employee voluntarily fills an unforeseen vacancy occurring within 24 hours of the start of the shift. The policy also includes safeguards to prevent misuse. Each payment must be approved by the EMS director or supervisor. Documentation is required, and management may deny the incentive if the shift is not operationally necessary or if there is evidence the policy is being abused. From a physical standpoint, the estimated annual cost is approximately $20,000 to $22,000 based on an analysis completed by Finance Director Keith Horton. Staffing anticipates that those costs can be absorbed through lapsed salaries from the 2 currently vacant EMS positions, which are not subject to the county's hiring freeze. In addition, the Finance Director and EMS Director will review expenditures monthly to ensure the department remains within its approved budget. As those vacant positions are filled, staff expect the needs for this incentive to decrease. This is not a new concept. Another public safety department has implemented a similar policy with positive results in improving last-minute staffing. Attorney Russell Johnston and Finance Director Keith Horton have both reviewed the policy. Ultimately, this policy is about ensuring reliable emergency medical coverage for our citizens, recognizing employees who are willing to step up on short notice and provide EMS management with another tool to maintain minimum staffing levels without creating permanent increase in personnel cost.
Questions?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Melissa, if it's necessary for someone to pick up a shift and they've already got, let's say, 40 hours, okay, is this going to be overtime for this? Or is this will be comp pay?
They already have their overtime provision in their budget for things of that nature. This right here is just for that 12 hours is a $100 just extra incentive on what their pay will be
Okay.
for picking that shift up. It's just pretty much, it's to help cover the shift because it's more enticing for somebody if they've got plans for the day. It's more likely to maybe change their plans for the day to pick up these extra hours and that incentive.
Okay, so overtime is built into the.
Yes.
Any other questions? Make sure I'm thinking about this right, Madam Manager. Okay, let's say, for instance, that EMT Ingram was supposed to work this morning. He called and said, I can't make it. Well, EMT Claggett says, yeah, I can work. So EMT Claggett would be entitled to that extra $100.
That is
Am I
correct.
thinking about this correctly?
That's exactly, yes.
Okay. I
Because
just want to make sure I
sometimes-
had my head
Correct.
wrapped around this thing.
Because sometimes they get really short notice and it's hard just from being, I know, working as the CATS director, when you've got drivers that call in at the last minute. I mean, it just makes the whole operation very difficult to fill because it's not easy to find other people to come in on short notice to fill these spots. And I think that if they had this incentive there, they would be more likely to do so. And we do feel like once those two vacancies are filled, that this policy would be used less.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. There are two more or less vacancies
Right.
plus
The four.
four that are frozen.
Yeah, so currently it's 6 that they have. And of course, only 4 are under our hiring freeze. So they are able to hire for those 2 positions. But last I talked to EMS Director Yarbrough, he told me that he did not have any prospects at this time. We are advertising. And we do have, and I know Crystal from HR is assisting him with, with getting that out there. So that's why we think for the month of July and probably August, those savings will be there to help make up for this incentive.
This is actually more so for extenuating circumstances, really.
Correct. It's just, for when we have no coverage, and that would just help. Because right now it's not, when we do have those last minute call outs, we're not having staff that's, saying, hey, I'll come in and pick that up. So we're hoping this will help encourage.
I got a what if question for you. If this doesn't work, what's the next step?
I have talked with Mr. Garbo because we talked about that, and that, we wanted to try something positive,
Right.
that more than punitive. But there is another policy that he has developed that that will be where it's more of a mandatory thing. They'll have a list and you'll stay kind of at the top of that list until, your turn is to fill the spot. And once you've done it, then it'll go to the next, So we're trying right now to, because I know that's going to cost us as well too, because you're going to have some incentive there as well. And we felt that this was the most budgetary, the easiest for us right now. And it was more of a positive incentive where they do have the choice.
All right. Gonna get a little loud, I believe. Any other comments, questions? What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the EMS shift differential policy as presented and direct the department head and the finance officer to review the availability of funds in the departmental budget monthly to ensure this policy can be funded without the need for fund balance.
Right, have a motion from Commissioner Totten.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Smith. Any more discussion? All those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. All right, the NC Department of Ag budget agreement.
The cooperative forestry agreement between Caswell County and North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, North Carolina Forest Services for fiscal year 2026, 2027. This is an annual agreement that continues the long-standing partnership between Caswell County and the North Carolina Forest Service to provide forestry services within the county. Under the agreement, the state and county jointly fund forestry operations, including personnel, wildfire prevention and suppression, forest management assistance, education, and protection of our forest resources. For this fiscal year, the total program budget is $259,546, with the state contributing $155,728 and the county contributing $103,818, which is the amount included in the FY 26-27 adopted budget. The agreement is effective July 1st, 26 through June 30th, 2027, and there are no significant changes from prior years. It simply continues the cooperative forestry services that the county has historically received throughout this partnership. Attorney Russell Johnson and Finance Director Keith Fortin have both reviewed the policy. We recommend approving the agreement.
Any questions? So this is just more or less a yearly thing that we.
It is,
That's what I was thinking.
and we've already budgeted our part and it's already been approved.
Exactly. What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I move to approve the agreement for the protection, development, and improvement of forest land in Caswell County, North Carolina, and authorize interim county manager Melissa Williamson to sign the agreement.
I have a motion from Commissioner Rose,
Second.
second from Commissioner Totten. Any discussion? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. All right, item 20, the DV contract renewal.
The next item is the FY 26-27 Domestic Violence Advocacy Grant Contract Renewal. This is an annual contract renewal with the North Carolina Department of Administration Division for Women and Youth that allows Caswell County to continue providing domestic violence advocacy services through this grant-funded program. The renewal extends the agreement for the period of July 1, 26 through June 30th, 2027, and there are no changes to the terms and conditions of the original contract. The program is 100% grant funded, requires no additional county funding, and was included in the 26-27 adopted budget. Finance Director Keith Horton, has reviewed the contract. Staff recommends approval of the contract renewal so the county can continue providing these important services to victims of domestic violence, and to authorize the chairman to execute the agreement on behalf of the county.
Thank you. Any comments, questions?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the FY 26-27 Domestic Violence Advocacy Grant Contract Renewal for the North Carolina Department of Administration, Division for Women and Youth for the period of July 1, 2026 through June 30th, 2027, and authorize the chairman to execute the renewal agreement.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ingram,
Second.
second from Commissioner Rose. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. All right, we have several appointments and reappointments tonight, various boards and committees. On the Adult Advisory Council, there are 3 seats, vacant seats, and 2 applications. Have Sylvia Banks, who is a returning member who served as chairperson, term expired June the 30th of this year, and Gloria McGee, a new applicant. Floor is now open for nominations.
Mr. Chairman, I'll nominate Ms. McGee.
Ms. McGee has been nominated. Any other nominations?
Yes, I nominate Ms. Banks.
Ms. Banks has been nominated. I have a motion, nominations be closed.
So move.
Motion nomination be closed and approved by acclamation.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
before we proceed with the appointments and reappointments, since there's new applicants, I'm assuming that the new applicants are aware of the recent nepotism clause.
Are they made aware of that when they apply?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I'm not sure if they're made aware of it, but they're certainly subject to any existing policy in place.
Just as all other county employees would be.
That's correct.
All right. Let's see, where were we at? I had a motion,
Yeah, nomination.
nomination, I'm sorry. Motion to close nominations. This, you had a motion. Mr. Rose had made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor of closing nominations, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All those in favor of appointing Ms. Banks and Mrs. McGee to the Adult Advisory Council, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Board of Adjustments, got 1 vacant seat and 1 alternate seat open. Jimmy Cole is a returning member who served as chair. The term expired on June the 30th of this year. And Stephanie Jackson is a new applicant. Floor is open for nominations.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I'll nominate Mr. Jimmy Cole to serve the vacant position.
all right. Do I have a second? Any other nominations? Right. I have a motion nomination to be closed.
So moved.
Motion nomination to be closed from Mr. Ingram. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Smith. All those in favor of closing nominations, let me know by saying aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. All those in favor of appointing Jimmy Cole to the Board of Adjustments for the vacant seat, let it be known by saying aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Item 23, the Board of Health. 3 vacant seats with 3 applicants. You have Amanda Doss Clay, Howard Holderness, and Michael Kamandi. And all 3 of these are returning members, but their terms have expired. Floor is open for nominations.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I nominate all 3.
All 3 have been nominated. Any other nominations? They hadn't applied, so it can't be nominated tonight. I have a motion, nominations be closed and approved by acclamation.
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Rose,
Second.
second from Commissioner Ingram. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Item 24, Farmer Lake Board have 2 vacant seats and 1 alternate seat with 3 applications. Troy Smith, Jim McCormick, Steve Scheinert. And all 3 of these are new applicants.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion,
Nominations.
nomination, Troy Smith.
Troy Smith's been nominated. Any other nominations?
And Commissioner Rose, is that for the vacant seat
That's,
or the alternate?
that's for the vacancy.
Vacant, okay.
Any other nominations?
I nominate Jim McCormick.
Jim McCormick's been nominated. Floor is still open for nominations. Is that for a vacant seat or the alternate?
Yeah, vacancy.
All right.
Vacant.
Mr. Chairman, I'll nominate, I have no clue how to pronounce this last name.
Shiner.
Scheinert.
Shane, for the alternate seat.
All right. All 3 individuals have been nominated. Troy Smith and Jim McCormick for the 2 vacant seats and Steve Scheinert for the alternate. All right, have a motion, nominations be closed and approved by acclamation.
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Smith,
Second.
second from Commissioner Ingram. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Motion, all those opposed, motion carries. Item 25, the Library Advisory Board have 2 vacant seats, 1 applicant, Stephanie Jackson.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
we made the nominations, but did we vote on it last?
it was approved by acclamation.
Okay, my fault, sorry.
That, the last 2 have been that way.
Okay.
Library Board, Stephanie Jackson's the only applicant. Floor is open nomination.
I nominate Stephanie Jackson to the
All right.
board.
I have a motion, nominations be closed
So moved.
and approved by acclamation.
So moved.
I have a motion from Commissioner Rose,
Second.
second from Commissioner Ingram. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. All those opposed, motion carries. And the last one is the Person Castle Lake Authority. There's 1 vacant seat and 1 application, Barry Joyce, who has served and it was serving as the Secretary Treasurer. His term ended end of June. Floor is open for nominations.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. I nominate Barry Joyce for that.
All right. I have a motion, nominations be closed, appointed by acclamation.
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Rose,
Second.
second from Commissioner Totten. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Oh, sorry, there's another one.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Senior Center Advisory Committee. I have 3 seats with 3 applicants. Gloria McGee, Hazeline Chandler, Mary Jane Daniel, and all 3 are new applicants.
Chairman, I nominate all 3.
Mr. Rose has nominated all 3. Do I have motions, nominations be closed,
So
be
moved.
approved by acclamation?
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Smith,
Second.
second from Commissioner Totten. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. All those opposed. And still yet another one, the Safety Committee have one vacant seat, and Jason Wallington, with the retirement of Donnie Powell at the end of June 2026, there's a vacant seat.
I nominate Jason Washington.
Have a nomination of Jason Wallington. To have a motion nomination to be closed, approved by acclamation. Motion from Commissioner Rose,
Second.
second Commissioner Ingram. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Thank you all. Okay. See where we are here. Updates, Madam Manager.
Chairman and Commissioners, I have an update from our Solid Waste Director. S&ME has confirmed that the well drilling contractor is scheduled to be on site Wednesday, July 22nd and Thursday, July 23rd to begin the well drilling process associated with the solid waste project. If any member of the board would like to visit the site to observe the drilling operations and see the proposed well locations, our Solid Waste Director would be happy to coordinate a visit. If you're interested, please let me know after the meeting, and we'll arrange a time and meeting location. And please note that anyone visiting the site should wear long pants and closed-toe shoes. All other required personal protection equipment will be provided. This invitation is also extended to any county administration staff who may be interested in learning more about the project. Staff will continue, sorry, I lost my place on my notes. I have also a brief update regarding veteran services. Please report that Cindy will be serving as Caswell County Veteran Service Officer. She will begin tomorrow on July 21st from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Senior Center. And Caroline Markham informed me that beginning in August, Veteran Services will be available on a regular schedule on the first and third Tuesday of each month. This partnership will once again provide our veterans with local access to assistance in obtaining the benefits and services they have earned. And I appreciate everyone's effort in helping us to get this reestablished, this important service for our veterans in Caswell County. Just a reminder that the NCACC annual conference is happening August the 20th through the 22nd at the Durham Convention Center. And also, I was honored to attend the American Legion Post 89 meeting on July 14th. I was presented with a certificate of appreciation and recognition from the acquisition of a veteran service officer for the veterans of Caswell County by Jeff Sitz, Commander Post 89, and a certificate of appreciation by Keith Newcomber, Commander of Veterans of Foreign Wards Post 7316. I enjoyed the meeting, and this was a group of men and women that are dedicated to helping other veterans. I heard them talk about how they go do home visits, go to the nursing homes to visit veterans to make sure that they know that they're not alone. Also, just to mention that they also do build the ramps for the senior center for seniors that are in need and need access into their home. So I do commend them on the services that they also provide here in the county. And I wanted to provide a brief legislative update from the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. Although the General Assembly is currently in recess until July 27th, Governor Stein signed several bills this past week, including the 2026 state budget and several pieces of legislation that could affect counties. A few items of interest for Caswell include the 2026 state budget has now been signed into law, and staff will continue reviewing the budget to identify any provisions that may impact county operations, funding opportunities, or required actions. Legislation was enacted making changes to property taxes, reappraisal requirements. Caswell County is not affected by the current reappraisal. A new law limits local government's abilities to require minimum off-site street parking and restricts certain stormwater requirements and redevelopment projects. We will review the legislation to determine whether any of these updates we need to update update county ordinance will be necessary. The governor vetoed legislation related to unauthorized public camping that would have created additional responsibilities and potential liability for local governments. Under that, unless that veto is overridden, no action will be required by the county. And we will continue monitoring legislative activity, and will bring any items requiring board action or affecting county operations to you as additional information becomes available.
All right, Mr. Attorney.
No updates tonight, Mr. Chairman.
All right. We'll go around the room and let's start with Mr. Totten. Mr. Smith.
One thing, Melissa, I know we had a update from Spectrum a couple weeks ago, but over the years, we've had several projects, RDOF, the Great Grant, and then CAB 1 and CAB 2. And I know there were some other projects on the horizon, being the BEAD project and the last mile. Are we still working on that? Is it moving forward?
We are, and I've got to do some additional research on that. I'm pretty sure that we have been approved for the one that kind of fell in the stop gap, but I have not heard from anyone yet. But I'm pretty sure that I seen on a release that Governor Stein released that Caswell County was on that list, and I will gather more information on that to be able to share back with the board. And I also need to reach out and find who our Brightspeed representative is to get an update on the Great Grant, because that project has to be completed in order by September or October, because I know we have to have all of the money that we have put aside for that through the ARPA dollars spent by December.
Well, I see construction crews all over the county, particularly along Highway 86 going towards Danville. So that could be part of it. So just looking beyond.
Okay.
Commissioner Rose.
Nothing, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Ingram.
Nothing, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Claggett.
Nothing, sir.
Just one question, and it kind of clicked when you were giving your updates. Revaluation every 4 years, am I correct? I know it went 8 because of COVID,
Right.
but so that's coming up in the
We-
next 12, 18 months. It'll start.
Correct.
Time flies. All right. Announcements, meetings, and upcoming events. Tomorrow, the 21st Board of Adjustment meeting at County Park Road. Also tomorrow, that has been canceled. Board of Adjustment meeting tomorrow. Library Advisory Board is not meeting tomorrow. It has been postponed with no current rescheduled date. Next Tuesday, the 28th, Planning Board meeting at the library. Monday, the 3rd, will be our next meeting here at 5 p.m. Tuesday, the 4th of August, National Night Out at the Parks and Rec. Saturday, August the 8th, Kids Fishing and Fun Day at Farmer Lake. And on August the 15th is the annual county-wide back-to-school blast at Parks and Rec. Closed session to consult with an attorney employed or retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege as provided under North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11 subsection A3, and consider the qualifications or conditions of appointment of an individual public officer or employee or prospective public officer or employee as provided under General Statute 143-318.11 subsection A6. Do I have a motion to go into closed session?
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Smith,
Second.
second by Commissioner Rose. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, we now set in closed session.